I can hear you. How you doing, Ed? Ah, there's that camera.
I'm doing really well. Is that dirt on my camera? Oh my
I
goodness.
don't see any dirt. I see a lot of green screen, but I don't see any dirt.
I was trying to use a plug-in so I could show my one set of me and my shed behind
Oh,
me, but for some reason it wasn't picking up Zoom. It's supposed to
oh, no
work
kidding.
in Zoom and Google Hangouts, and
Uh
I
huh.
forget the name of the plug-in, but I'm old, so uh,
Oh, you don't have to
how
tell me, my
about it?
friend. Yeah, you don't have to tell me. All right, Ed.
Dude, camera am I on?
Oh.
Maybe not that camera angle.
Well, now you'll see. Now you'll see what we're talking about. Can you see yourself?
Oh yeah. See now if if that plug-in would have worked right, you would have seen me in my shop, in my shed,
Oh,
like
yeah,
on my
yeah.
but I need to talk to some people that are a little more software tech savvy than I am. You
Well, Ed, I've worked
know.
with OBS. I've worked with OBS a bit. You and I can probably talk about that. I'd be more than happy to.
Well,
You can't hear me?
there's a plugin that I just downloaded for OBS that's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
work in Zoom and Google Hangouts that I could use my VidCam to go through my OBS to hook up to Zoom, and it would
Mm-hmm.
be showing instead of my green screen, it'd be showing what like what I have during my show. You know,
Oh, sure, sure.
I tried, but hey, yeah, the green screen today. I don't want to take the time to put down the black screen. So, how are you today,
I
Jim?
could. Oh, I'm fine. Rant aside, I'm really actually doing
Besides
pretty
this,
well, Ed.
besides this diversity stuff, but they say diversity and equality and everything until you disagree with them,
Yeah,
and then there's
yeah,
no diversity to it. It's lynch them, lynch the races. You know.
yeah.
That's why I
You're
was
absolutely
talking
right.
about affirmative action. I have a lot of great people, many different ethnicities in the one human race. We all
Mm-hmm.
bleed red, Jim. Uh, but there's, I was on a construction site with a female carpenter, if that's what you want to call her,
Why not? Sounds right.
who was installing microwave ovens.
Uh huh.
Um, I guess you could call her a appliance installation technician or whatever. Uh,
There you go.
but I was in this condos unit trying to do my job, doing baseboard, doing door trim and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like every 5 minutes, it's like, hi, can you help me hold up this microwave? Can you help me hold this up? And I'm like, are you going to pay me for my time?
Did she not have
You
any help with
know,
her?
I was working piecework. I was working by the lineal foot. I wasn't
Mm.
working by the hour. So, are you going to pay for my time? Because every minute I help you means I have that much less footage lay down and I make that much less.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have no problem with women or anyone in the workplace as long as they can do their job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's all part of the diversity thing you were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along with,
And
I, I agree with you, judge by merit, merit in the workplace, merit anywhere, judge by merit.
absolutely.
Even in the workplace, I hate seniority because there's
Mm.
some who has the same job title as me, but they've been there a lot longer and they're really less experienced and uh, do less quality work, but they get paid a lot more and they do a lot less work. So
Now, let me ask
why
you a
am I
question,
doing
Ed.
all the work just because you've been here a year longer than me?
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Ed. Were you in a union by chance?
During that job, I was. I
Oh, okay.
I'm very anti-union now, and I know Indiana, Ohio's big union country, but let me see. How could I put it this way? But in California, I got pretty much bent over by the union and no reach around or nothing.
There goes the
But they
demonetization.
still wanted my dues. But when it came to them helping me in that shop at the time, it was out of Costa Mesa, California, Levere Finish and Supply. Only
Uh-huh.
the carpenters out in the field had to be union. Everyone in the shop didn't.
Mm.
And there was only like 4 of us carpenters out in the field. So we had no pull with the hall or anything, or union representative or nothing. We
Mm.
we were only a buck to him.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I recognize that there was a time and a place for organized laborers, but in this day and age, they're nothing more than communists, in my
Oh, yeah.
personal opinion.
Yeah. And extortionists as well, right?
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
There's a reason why
it.
Jimmy Hoff hasn't been found.
How true. Yeah. Well, now I've never been union, but I've studied him a great deal, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that they had their time. They were very valuable at one point, and then like anything else, they became corrupt.
Right.
That's how the ball rolls. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep,
So,
yep.
the more powerful someone gets, the more corrupt they get, then the more power they crave, and it
Hmm.
just snowballs into Mount Everest from there. Then
Yeah,
we
and
have a
it's
swamp we have to drain.
hmm and it's something we should be thanking our founders for, right? Because they recognize that, and that's why we've got the balance of power and the checks and balances. I mean that's where that
Right.
centers. Hmm.
Yeah, and
Oh.
listen to some of our politicians, they don't even know the correct structure of our government.
I know who you're talking about. The young star
Yeah,
with no brain.
but yeah, yeah, pardon?
The young star with no brain. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, government is our own punishment.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
as you know, I'm for very minimal government, especially federal government. We're supposed to be a free uh, republic, a democratic
Mm-hmm.
republic, and
Yep.
a lot of these people are pushing mob rule democracy when it ends up not working in the long run.
Well, wouldn't you agree that I think that that is basically the fault of our education system? I mean, we're creating an entire generation of people who don't know. I mean, they've not been taught how this country was founded, and what the principles are.
True, and that's been done by design, I have to believe, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been said
how did
before. Yeah.
Adolf Hitler do it in Nazi Germany?
Mm-hmm.
He started with the young,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah. Yep.
the same thing has been happening here for decades now.
Mm-hmm.
They move in little steps. They infiltrate the system. They infiltrate education, and then they start changing things with inside, using our own laws against us to use
Mm-hmm.
against
Mm-hmm.
us for the big picture.
Mm-hmm.
And these
Mm-hmm.
people that say, like my son, for instance, love him to death, of course, or I'd be a really crappy dad if I didn't. But um, he keeps telling me, "Oh, I don't need to worry about politics. I'm young. Let me have fun." And I go, "I understand, son. I've been there. But
Mm-hmm.
if you don't keep them to their feet to the fires, you're going to be paying the price for it. They're
Yeah.
not. They're going to be reaping the benefits while the citizens pay the price."
Mm-hmm.
When these people say free or free college education, guaranteed jobs, guaranteed housing, okay, what's the price? 80, 70, 80% of your income tax,
Mm-hmm.
if
Yeah.
not more. Then your housing becomes crummy. Then there ends up being nothing. Government ends up controlling all forms of commerce. Next thing you know, they'll want to take your cars away and your airplanes and make you ride bicycles again. Next thing you know,
they
they'll have us living in caves.
they
But
want us
man,
back in they want us back in trains and boats, man.
pretty
Trains
much,
and boats.
pretty much.
Yep. Champworks Garage says he's worked with one union shop and three merit shops. He prefers the merit shops. The only positive of the union is that you can bring in trained individuals for the job at hand. That's true. I mean, um, there
Oh,
there's a lot to be
and like
said with.
good. Sorry, Jim.
Oh, it's okay. There's a lot to be said about union workers being trained, albeit often they're trained to be lazy, but that's a different subject. The merit shops. I'm literally serious about being trained to be lazy. When you have an entity that will save you from being horrible on the job, then that's a training in itself.
Oh
The
yeah, I've
merit.
worked with union guys that say, I'm like, hey, come give me a hand, do this real quick. They're not like, oh no, that ain't our job.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah.
labor
That's
stuff,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, that's not
Okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah, that's where they fall down
But
anymore. Um, I want to
the
hear more about the
40-hour
merit
work
shops.
week is thanks to the unions, to organized
Mm-hmm.
workers, which everyone should be grateful for that, or we'd still be
Oh,
working
sure.
100-hour weeks in sweatshops and stuff. So
Oh,
there
yeah.
is a lot of good that has come out of the union. I just think we're beyond that point now with what laws and regulations we have put in place with like MSHA and OSHA and all those other ABC organizations.
Mm-hmm. Having said that, Ed, you don't think you're probably like me. You don't think that if unions went away tomorrow, then it would descend into chaos and we'd be working those 100-hour weeks again, and then there would be child labor and all that. You don't think that, do you?
No, no,
No.
because I think people, well, people our age will, like when I went and talked to my boss, I'm the one that negotiated everything. If I don't like something, I negotiate with HR or I go straight to my boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people in our age group would do that. Not so sure about the young because they think they should come right out of school making more than us and do littler than us. I've literally seen it on the job. Why
Mm-hmm.
should I broom? Why should I sweep? Pay your dues, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll sweep, but when they find out I'm sweeping for how much I make, and I'll say it's because you wouldn't, I think they won't get mad at me now. Because you got to
Right
keep
on.
the
Yeah.
job site clean. Clean job site's a
Yes.
safe job site.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Well, that's interesting. Let's see. Champworks Garage says merit shops basically own the employees and train the employees appropriately to the job. That's cool. Merit employees are well-rounded and they will work across multiple disciplines. Wow, is
that's true.
Ed? Do you know much about merit shops?
So I work, well, it's more,
I don't.
it's
I
kind of
literally
a
don't.
merit job.
Yeah,
Um, there's a lot. We get our raises and stuff on our merit, but
that's good.
they do have a seniority issue that they could deal with a little better.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Hmm.
guys that work for them for 20 years compared to mine going on 10, where I'll work circles around them and
Hmm.
they, they just slide because of the time they put in on that particular company. But
Yeah, yeah.
Champ's right. We bring in kids from trade schools after they graduate,
Hmm.
and usually I tell them right now, forget anything that instructor taught you at that school. Because I know you weren't allowed to cut the asphalt shingles when you did that
Hmm.
roof. I know you weren't allowed to do this because of drywall dust, and the only thing you built was a 10 by 10 shed. So here's what it is: go to the shop and ask Dave for some level fluid. It should be right next to the board stretcher. Don't come back till you
Hell
bring it
yeah.
with you.
Those are the kind of dues you have to pay as a noob, man.
Well, we all paid our dues. It's only right they pay
Hell
their
yeah.
dues. But now you get a slap on the wrist. You can't be like that with these kids these days.
Yeah.
Okay, HR person.
That's only going to backfire.
I told this one kid, I told this one kid, if you were in the trade back in the day when I was your age, you would have been quitting and crying to your truck by now.
Yeah, they're a little softer nowadays, aren't they?
We're sweethearts and nice compared to the.
Oh, I had a
But
great question that
oh
just left my
well.
head. Oh well, I'll think of it here in a minute. But yeah, I know what it is. I know what it is. Do you're kind of in that business, and I've heard a lot about people hiring us old guys because we do have better work ethics. You know, we don't cry about sweeping floors and things like that, and a lot of them being brought back into the workforce. Are you seeing that as well?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Hmm.
And right now, we pretty much have a upper hand
Mm-hmm.
because there's everyone in my trade is looking for help, you know. And I know
Yeah.
my company wouldn't dare saying, if you don't like it, just leave.
Mm-hmm.
See ya.
See ya.
I'll get a job tomorrow. If not, I'll create my own.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
always been kind of that way anyway. I'll get out there and do the leg work and the phone work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If if I always believe if people say they can't find a job, it's because they really don't want a job.
Mm-hmm.
If they
Mm-hmm.
really need the job, they'll even go to the point of creating it,
Oh yeah.
whatever it is.
Well, that's actually what I've had to do. Probably within the last couple of years, I've become a consultant again because in my industry, the one I'm currently in, there are so many young people that'll come up and do it for half the pay. So I've had to go out and get my new clients and all that. So I'm looking at it from a different side entirely. Although it's no big deal. I've been in this spot before. But it's not like trades. It's not like working with your hands, and that's where those old guys come in very handy nowadays because nobody's going into trade school anymore. It seems like.
Yeah, and the ones coming out of them need to go back to them. Maybe to a better one or something. Because nothing against it. I think it's good that companies hire from trade schools, you know,
Hmm.
but um, I think the teachers, like in every other school, they're lacking.
Hmm.
I don't really think I came from a really big city. I know you live by one, but
Hmm.
I was raised in a concrete jungle, and that's why I love living rural so much now.
Yeah.
Um, you literally fell through the cracks. The teachers really didn't give a crap. They
Hmm.
didn't care
Hmm.
about you. You were just taking up a desk in their classroom, and they did their stuff by their book,
Hmm.
and they didn't care if you were there or not. So most
Yeah.
of the time I
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah. I kind of grew up in both worlds, so I get both of that. We moved around a lot when I was younger, so I saw all different types. I can remember being like one of the only two or three white kids in the school at a point, and then all the way to not farm school, but way out in a rural area school. So I had all kinds of those worlds growing up, and but I'm with you. I so enjoy being away from concrete jungles anymore. That's why we're gonna go out prospecting, man.
Hi, Swift. That's
Hi,
right.
Swift. How you doing? How you
And
doing, man?
Patrick gave the A-OK. He kind of got
Oh, did
mad
he?
at me though.
Why's that?
He said, "Man, you named those two towns, man. That's too close." And I'm like, "What?" Oh, come on, there's lots of creeks in that area.
Yeah.
Still too close.
Yeah,
You
there is
just
a
have
lot of
to
creeks.
understand how us cross. Well, you're a hunter and a
Yeah.
fisherman, you know.
Hmm.
That's why you don't tell where your honey holes are when you're good fishing holes. If you do,
That's true.
next thing you know, he tells a fellow, and those fellows tell two fellows, and they tell two fellows. Next thing you know, you're it's like fishing on the Maumee River up in Perrysburg.
Assholes and elbows. I know, man. I'll never forget when that happened to the first time that ever happened to me. It was a hunting spot that me and a buddy used to go to all the time. Well, we let the cat out of the bag. We were young, and we got there one morning, and it was public land, but it was a really nice hidden piece of public land. We got there one morning, and it was like a friggin' Walmart parking lot. It was so lit up at 5 a.m. Needless to say, we never went back.
Well, you better get to your homework, Swift. Sorry, Jim. Talking
Oh,
Swift.
that's okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Swift, get back to that
Yeah, it's
homework, man.
homework too. But he's looking. He wants to see your mugs in the merch shop.
I know,
Get
and
them
I'm gonna
out. I
do it.
like
I'm
them.
gonna do it. Yeah, I'll probably end up. I'll
Hey,
probably end up saying
Swift.
quite a few things.
Mine will be available here shortly.
Self promotion, man. I love it.
You got to take the
Ah,
opportunities when they come, right, Jim?
I encourage that, man. That's why I started this channel.
I can tell right now you're going to be a good time on the creek, and I
Oh
guarantee
yeah.
no banjos.
Oh, thank God. No banjos. Now we got to lay some ground rules. No banjos, no bags. And what was the other one? STDs? No STDs, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys won't
We're all good
get that
then,
in the
bro.
chat or anywhere else. Yeah, that was just between the prospectors I hung out with the other night. What happens in Prospector Club stays in Prospector Club. Feel free to use that. I just made it up.
Hey, I very well might. We'll have to wait and see.
Oh well, I'm hip to the snipe hunting thing, so don't hand me any burlap bags and tell me to go around that bush.
Snipe, snipe, snipe.
Yeah,
They did that
snipe
to
right back
you
there,
in
man.
Cub
Snipe.
Scouts too, huh? In summer
Actually, I was
camps.
lucky.
Let's go snipe
Uh,
hunting.
yeah, I was brought in ahead of
Tell
that,
me what,
so I
kid.
wasn't the victim.
Tell your kids,
Champ works.
if your
What's that?
counselor ever tell you, let's go snipe hunting, he's lying.
Now the cat or the snipes out of the bag. Champ works. I went to a school that was 99% white, basically zero diversity. Now I have to ask Champworks, was that because of location, or I can't imagine that it was close to an urban center. I'll wait for him to answer that, but it's not uncommon. In fact, the last school I
Uh,
went to, this is before busing. I think we had, it was probably 99% white. We had three black kids there. Great kids. I remember the guy's name. It was actually I'll just name his first name is Mohammed, and he had a sister, which I can't remember her name, and then there were a couple others. But he graduated with me. He's a great guy. Great guy. I wonder
Swift,
whatever happened to
he's
him.
the only white kid in his school that isn't a nerd. Um, Sounds kind of like my elementary, junior high, and high school, but I think we had two black people,
Uh-huh.
and then it was like 90%, 95% Hispanic.
Oh, was it?
Southern California school.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
so it was a big percentage of Latino.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Probably about 85% Latino. A lot of gangs
Interesting.
and stuff. Fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that wasn't such a big thing in the schools that I went to. If it was, it wasn't something I was, aware of, I should say.
Uh, you're
Hey, Kang.
lucky.
Yeah, Kang. Welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you being here. I really do. Got a new visitor to the show there, Ed.
Hey, Kane. Welcome.
Welcome aboard. So yeah, I think we run the diversity thing out. We've worked on into schools. We've hit a couple gold
Yeah,
digging
yeah.
subjects. Yeah. Oh
Oh,
man,
another
I'm looking forward to it.
well-rounded show, Jim.
Another well-rounded show. I am looking forward to going out panning with you guys, though. I think that would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We'll
Uh,
have to set something up for this summer.
I apologize to your wife already. 'Cause
And listen, you can't do any more damage that I haven't already done. Like I said, I'm a man of 1,000 hobbies and time for none of them. I
Well,
am
I can
graduated
guarantee
CC.
you this. Once you get your first flash in your pan, you'll
Boom.
never look at a creek or stream the same again.
I bet not.
Like,
I bet not. Yeah, isn't that also true with hunting though? You know, it's like I remember my first deer, and you didn't you always looked for them. You know, the first few times you went hunting and didn't see anything. Then when you found it, you knew exactly what to look for. I mean, same thing. It's like, wow, the woods are completely different now.
yeah,
School in Canada. King says school in Canada as an international student. There was all mixed culture. Well, that's good. I hope it was a good time for you, Kang. And I have to imagine that even in Canada, that varies greatly by your locale. And unless they have
right.
like we did,
Compared
remember?
to like Vancouver or Toronto or
Yeah.
Quebec or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ed, how close were you to busing when that became a huge issue? I think it was 82, 83 when that really hit its stride.
Well, I be, besides being the size of our schools were and being so easy to fall in the crack, I was born with like 90% hearing loss.
Mm.
And then I wasn't old enough to have surgery until around the age 4. So I couldn't hear until 4. So, you can't hear, you can't talk. Besides that, I am dyslexic, which there's no, I hate it when people use that as a crutch. Oh, I'm dyslexic. Well, you beeping, beeping. So am I. I don't want to hear your pity party because
Yeah.
I type, I write, and there's ways to work with it. So, but I was in special education, and at that time, it was nothing compared to what special ed may be now.
Really?
You remember the TV show Welcome Back, Carter?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, art class was a lot like that. You know, you had a couple of really challenging kids. I mean, they needed help. They
Like Horseshack.
literally needed help. And then you had some that were total dirt bags, and I was probably one of the dirt bags because
Hmm.
I was mm, I wouldn't back down. You know,
Hmm.
you couldn't in my school. If you back down, you were a target every day from there on out.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
made yourself a target, you became one very quick. So you had to stand your ground, and when you had to fight, you had to fight. I
Mm.
don't fight
Hmm.
fair. I fight street crazy. I know street crazy damn well. There's no such thing as a fair fight in the street. But
That's true.
um, so school to me, I didn't have a good school life, and that's
No.
probably why I ditched so much. Because and I've learned way more from myself, going out of my way to teach myself, and through the university, the school of hard knocks and work, than I ever learned in the classroom. That goes with
Yeah.
math, reading, anything for that matter. I did like drafting. I really enjoyed metal shop.
Hmm.
I never took wood shop, but I became a carpenter. Probably because I was a beach bum surfer and I always ditched, and that's the only alternative I had was to get in a trade working with my hands.
Hmm. Hmm.
So kids don't do what I do. Now I know I went way off track where we started from.
Oh, no, no, no. That was
Oh, I'll
interesting as
do that.
hell.
Jim, you have around, rein me back in sometimes.
No, I'm just gonna let you talk, man. It was interesting. It's funny too because I paralleled a lot of that. You know, I well, if my boy ever watches this, I'm not supposed to tell him any of my bad stories until he turns 30. But I guess I'll slip one here. um,
Jim's
you know, I
son don't watch
yeah,
like
don't listen to what I'm just about to say. Put it on mute right now. No, but
We'll
I
let you
I
know when it's safe.
will let you know. Yeah, when you see me do a thumbs up, you'll know it's safe. But I too. It's not that I did bad in school, but I was so involved with so many other things, racing motorcycles, and of course it was the '70s, so there was a lot of recreational drugs and rock and roll and all that kind of stuff, and I ended up with a group of guys, and we didn't, it wasn't a gang sort of situation, but we were kind of on the fringes, and we didn't pay much attention, not as much attention to school as we should have. Thank you, Kang. um, and then I too, even though I didn't have trouble with a lot of subjects, I I actually really enjoyed more so shop than I did the standard subjects. I really did. I guess your channel is going to be very good. Thank you, Kang. People who's
I
learning
think
English as
your
well.
channel will do good, Jim.
I hope
I
so.
have to
I hope
agree
so.
with Kane.
For me,
You
it's
have
it's
a lot to
more important to have
offer.
fun. Cool. It's for me, it's more just having fun, and
Oh,
and
like
making sure
like
that
I
people,
told you before, my life shows like the highlight of my week. Really,
is
I
it?
love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I love the interactions with my
Hmm.
subscribers and with
Yeah,
the
there's a.
people we have on. We have some great guests.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and you guarantee that every time that I don't have band rehearsal, I'm gonna be watching your show. I'll
Excellent.
even get I'll even
And
get
look,
on there so you can poke at me as a noob. Oh, by the way, son, I'm done with the story. You can turn the volume back up. I made that a hard fast rule when he was younger. I said, "No, you're not going to hear my bad stories until you're 30." I didn't want to influence him,
yeah, I
and he
kind of
turns 30
waited.
this year.
I didn't wait quite as long with my youngest. 28 now. Oh my
Oh yeah,
God,
mine's
just
29.
saying that makes me feel old.
I know,
So.
I know. Well, let's not go down the old guy road here. I
Well, I
played that
hear
enough
you.
on
I
TV, you
hear
know.
you there.
Oh man.
Oh, actually, you're in a band. My stepson's a very good musician, and
Yeah, you
he's
said that.
producing the video and the CD for the band he's in now. So I'll be going down
Hmm.
to Kentucky. I forget. It's in a month or two to go to their, what would you call it, premiere for their CD release, because they're releasing the CD during that show.
Oh, so
So
they're
would
doing a
that be a
show, and
premiere?
oh yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, we're not telling them either. We're just gonna show up. Hey, Brian.
Ah, that's cool. That's cool.
Well,
I
if
got a
I
nephew.
showed up, I'd have to help Rhodey setting up. I know I'll help break down, but usually when I'm there, his real dad just stands in the corner watching while I help break down and pack up mics and drums and you name it. You know, it's like, hey,
Oh,
this ain't. This, I've been here before. Okay, let's go. Let's get this taken care of so we can get out of here, so they can get
yep,
out of here.
yep. You know that's going to happen. You know that's going to happen. And it's funny you've got a stepson that's a musician. I've got a nephew who's, I wouldn't say hit the big time, but they're pushing hard to hit the big time. If you ever listen to a band called Omarosa with an E, he's the lead singer, Bradley Walden. Kid's got pipes, man. He has got some pipes.
Really?
Yeah, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, but it's good music,
I'm
and he
having a rare
does.
weather report coming in, June.
Oh, you are.
My producer says we're having freezing rain, and she don't think I'll be going anywhere in the morning. Oh, I forgot. I put my windshields up too. I hate having
Oh, your
them
windshield
freeze
wipers.
to my windshield.
That just happened to me during our last cold snap. I literally turned on my windshield wipers and it snapped. The windshield wiper rolling down my hood, and I got one wipe out of it, right in the middle of an ice storm too.
Yeah, Judy goes,
That
"Why
weather
do
sucks,
you
man.
do that?" And I go, "Because I don't want my blades frozen uh, to the windshield. I don't
Oh
have to
yeah.
do it. You parked in your garage, and my garage is a mess. That's what I'm just saying, girl."
Behind you here.
Is her
They
name?
heard
Is
you,
that?
honey.
What'd you say, Judy? Is that her name?
Hi, everyone.
Is it Judy?
The weather report says
Judy.
it's raining.
Hi,
But
Judy.
it probably is.
Jim says hi, Judy.
Hi, Jim. The forecast will be nasty tomorrow. Nobody's going anywhere.
She
Ah.
says the forecast will be nasty tomorrow and no one's going anywhere. Gotta love live entertainment, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh man, you never know what's gonna happen. Oh,
I know this one for one thing. I'm working in Huntington, Indiana today, tomorrow, and
maybe.
it's an hour and a half drive for me without bad weather. I know one
Hmm.
thing, if I can make it barely out of town without sliding all over, I'm not going to be driving 88 miles one way.
No. No. Better safe.
Hello.
Yep. Yep, better to stay safe because you're not the one you have to worry about on the roads. You got to worry about everybody else.
Oh, I preach that very much. It's all the other idiots out on the road, let alone myself. I don't
Oh,
worry
yeah.
about my driving. Worry about yours.
Well, we got to
You're
we got to learn
welcome,
on the old
Sam.
rear wheels. Oh, did you sub Champworks?
Yeah, I thought I
Cool.
did the last time I was here, and I
Huh.
checked, and I'm like,
I tell you,
and I
YouTube's
watched
broken,
one
man.
bit of his one of his videos, and go, I think I'm not much of a grease monkey. I wish I was a little more, but I learned one thing in auto shop. I hate grease. So, but I loved machine shop and welding shop and stuff. I love that. But auto shop, I guess there's a difference between clean oil and dirty oil grease. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I saw a couple of, looked at some of his thumbnails and took a quick peek at a video and said, yeah, I
Mhm.
think I'm surprised I didn't do this already. I could have swore I did. It's that
That's pretty
CRS
cool.
again.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's got a toy. You know, you've seen the. I'm sure you've seen maybe one of the thumbnails of the Bronco that's painted like Ted Nugent's
Yeah, the
full size
Ford
Bronco.
Bronco.
Yeah. He goes
Yeah,
bug with that
yeah.
thing apparently. That sounds awesome.
Got
Well,
Ted
listen, Ed.
Nugent's Zebra Bronco.
Yeah, it's badass. Well, listen, Ed. I think I'm gonna call it a night. We've been on over an hour now, and I
Yeah,
know you can go longer, but
well,
I like to cut them about an hour.
I understand that. And I have to wake up an hour earlier than normal. So, because before I was working 15 minutes away a week
Yeah.
before for months. So
Mm.
now I got to work an hour and a half away, and tomorrow, who knows? We'll see. But thank you very much for accepting my call, Jim.
Thanks for coming
Pleasure
on, man.
joining you again.
It's always a pleasure, Ed, and I look forward to having you on again real soon. All right.
Excellent. Sounds good. I'm out of here. Have a great one, and I'll let you take care of your exit from that end.
All right. Thanks so much,
See
sir.
you
We'll see
in
you, Ed.
chat, Jim.
Did you enjoy this video? Well, you made it to the end, so I'm going to assume you did. If you want to see where this takes us, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell right now so you don't miss out on future videos and guests. Also, make sure to comment, like, and share our videos to help us build this unique community. Thanks again for watching, and remember to always treat others as you want to be treated. See you live!